Well, so after recording for like another Fears to Fathom game, we're gonna be doing something a little bit more chill. We're going back to reading Vampire's Kiss. Right now we're on chapter 5. Alex stride is determined and his hand never loosens from the cutlass as you are led to a small side door which opens up into a dark room. Your senses read it almost immediately. A dusty storage space. Alex knows where things are, and you watch as your new ally heads to a window and forces it open. You sneak out all the time through this, he says by way of explanation. It's a short hop onto the next door's garage, and then we can slide down. Downstairs, you can hear multiple people rushing through the building. There's no way you can defeat them all. Your only option is to follow Alex. And you jump. We're gonna bring this down just a tiny bit. That's a lot of reading right there. But we're trying to like be able to like zoom in. Let's put that down there. That's a little bit better. The landing is just as Alex promised. In a moment, you're sliding down into a garden full of manicured flower beds and a lawn draped with scattered leaves. You offer a hand to Alex, but your companion ignores it and jumps down, cutlass in his teeth, giving you a wink before returning it to his grip. I've always wanted to do that. Of course he did. I wanted to look cool. He's like, I got someone to see too, so yeah, I gotta show off. You're about to reply when a noise from the side seat that runs behind the houses alerts you to yet more danger. You raise your finger to your lips and sneak to the edge of the garden, glancing out to see what made the commotion. Why are we waiting? It is as the mistress commands, sister. We are to stop any escape. The vampire dies, the mortal too. The women from the morgue. Staring through the undergrowth, we see the trio illuminated in the moonlight. The leader still wears a butterfly pin brooch on an expensive coat, and the other two are also dressed entirely in designer clothes. All three of them carry stakes in their hands. Miss Mortis, the youngest of the three mutters. The plumes of chill air from her breath betray her nerves. Miss Mortis, the others agree. The group is blocking your only exit. You consider your options. You could fight them, of course. You got the better of them in the morgue, after all. Now you have a new ally. You don't know if Alex can hold his own in a fight, but the cutlass should even odds considerably. Alternatively, you could try to sneak past the sisters somehow, or even use your mind abilities to turn the tables on your assailants. Alex, for someone who discovered vampires exist mere minutes ago, seems to be holding up well, considering. It's all going to come crashing down eventually on him. He's like, I just had to escape some people that want to kill me. She's a vampire. Vampires are real. Yeah, it's all going to come up soon. I guess you're not the only vampire in town, he says. Not by a long shot, you reply. But I am the one who wants to keep you alive right now. We turn back to face the patrol, waiting for you and decide. Let's see. Fight alone. That is not going to go good if I fight alone. And then would he trust me if I kill him? And then he'd be all like horrified. He's like, ugh. My stealth is horrible. He already got me when I was coming into the house. Sneak past them, but how's that doesn't help with Alex. I'm like, how's Alex gonna pass if I sneak him? He's gonna be stuck. Mind powers. They're hunters, so I feel like they're gonna have some type of thing against that. So, the only thing you can do is fight him with Alex's help. You glance back at Alex, your new companion brandishing the cutlass. You know how to use that, you ask? Alex gives a grim nod, his body language resolved, even if there's a moment's pause. A gulp, as Alex musters up the required level of courage. Yeah, he eventually sighs. That's one good thing about posh schools. They have fencing classes. Guess a little sword play runs in family, huh? You nod and turn back, looking at the trio. You take the one to the left, you say, pointing at the enemy stalking you. Her dark hair fastened in a tight ponytail as she twirls a stake in her hand. I'll deal with the other two. Deal with? You mean? Your teeth slide down, fingertips sharpening to slashing slicing points. Let's just see what happens, you reply before bursting out of the undergrowth. Part of me would be like, I taunt him. It's not going to end well if you taunt them. They're hunters. I'm like, surely they ain't not going to fall for it. I mean, the same could be said for like Ace from One Piece. I'm like, you're like, He got distracted by the taunt. That's what led him to. I probably shouldn't say that for people who haven't seen One Piece, so we're gonna cut that out. Let's cut that part out. So, I'm gonna rely on my subtle nature to disarm them. Knock them out. Although, didn't they say I do need to get rid of them because they're gonna keep coming back? Do I really want to kill them though? I mean, they're definitely out to kill me. We unleash the fang. I mean, because I easily got rid of them the first time, so yeah, we'll disarm them. You decide that stealth is the best option, and you begin to move forward. Sadly, your skills of hiding in the shadows are not fully developed, and the crack of a twig reveals your presence. The game up. You rush forward, managing to grasp the stick out of your nearest opponent's hand, and with a jab uprides, drive it into her chin. There's a sickening crack as she takes impact on her jaw and falls to the ground like a knocked out prize fighter. You take a moment to recover, wishing that you still breathe and it were possible to catch your breath. You know you have to fight. One of the sisters is down. Alex, following your coup, charges at another, swinging the cutlass above his head. This sudden attack seems to catch his opponent off guard, sending her sprawling to the floor, desperately parrying a blow of the sharpened blade that raids down. It's not enough. Soon the sword is at his opponent's throat. That just leaves one for you, the blonde with the butterfly pin. For the mistress. I feel like I should be like screaming that, but for the mistress, she screams, charging wildly. For all her swagger, it's clear she hasn't any combat training. You don't even move. Instead, you grab her by the throat as she comes down toward you, lifting her up off the ground with supernatural strength and holding her by the neck at arm's length. Her desperate efforts to drive the stake at you miss widely. Yeah, because I'm like, I defeated them so easily when I just woke up, so there was really no use to use the fang on her. Do I knock them out? Same like last time, just gonna keep coming back. Like roaches at this point. Can't be risk. Follow. Keep them alive. Perhaps they will bend to my well servants later. Who said anything about having servants? I'm like, girl, we were just a vampire for just like a couple days at this point, and you're already thinking about having servants. And who is their mistress, by the way? I'll just knock them out. You walk to a nearby tree and think you can quickly bash your opponent's head against it. She stops moving, although you can see the steady rise and fall of her chest. Is she dead? Alex says as you walk over, looking at the other two servants of Saffron scattered on the ground. Okay, so it was Saffron that they're serving. So technically, do I want them on my side? I don't know, because when like at any point they'd be like, we still serve Mr. Saffron, so we're actually just gonna backstab you in the end. So, no, we don't need it. No, you say. But we need to get out of here before they come around. Alex looks relieved as you gesture toward the street and falls in next to you as you run along the path. You lead on into the night. You walk along the dark, empty streets of West London. Alex with you, his brow licked with a fine mist of sweat. It takes a moment to realize it's sheer adrenaline from everything that's happened. You can empathize. You were in a similar whirlwind only a few days ago. You should probably throw that away, you say, glancing at the cutlass. Alex glances down, almost surprised it's still in his grip, before hastily agreeing and depositing the sword in a nearby trash bin. Some garbage collector is going to have a shock when they find that little present. So are you going to tell me what the hell is going on then? Alex says, catching up to you. You're a vampire, and there are people hunting vampires. That much I already processed. That quickly, you ask? It took me a little longer. Granted, you were being attacked at the time. There's no point wondering if something's real when it's directly in front of you. In a matter of life or death, Alex replies. You have to admit, Alex has a point. I think this is the part, Alex says quietly, where you apologize about the ring, about approaching me in the gallery, about dragging me into all this. Well, I didn't mean to drag you. I'm just going to justify my actions. Your ring is wanted by a vampire, a very powerful vampire. And if I hadn't tried to get it from you, chances are you'd already be dead. Comforting, Alex says. In a distinctly non-comforting way. It's downright despicable, Lilith. You keep walking. And despite the anger and hurt, Alex keeps following. I was doing what I thought was right, you say after a while. It's not cool, Alex says abruptly. It's not cool. Well, come on. What now, vampire? You just come to my house so you can steal my property and a bunch of utter intruders have trashed the place? What the hell is your plan? It's a good question. You could try calling Marquis, but Saffron is clever, and you suspect your mentor is occupied elsewhere. As for the rest of the court of London, you have no idea whom you can trust. Fergus is a possibility, but you doubt he's the kind of vampire to have a cell phone or even an email address. Escaping London is pointless. You can make a break out of the city, but ultimately the ring in your possession is something that Saffron wants, and you have no doubt that she'll find a way to track you down. There are really only two options. You should stick with Alex and try to find a place where both of you can lie low nearby. That would ensure Alex is safe. You suspect that if you abandon him now, Saffron might find a way to tidy up a loose end. Or perhaps with Saffron only interested in the ring, any attention might focus on you. Alternatively, you could abandon Alex and try to find help elsewhere. Vampire assistance is out of question, but there might be mortal aid you can summon. As strange as it seems, perhaps your best bet is to try to ally yourself with the one person who seems to fully understand Saffron's plan. Kurt Wilcox. The only catch, of course, is that as a vampire hunter, you're certain he wants you dead. Let's see. They're all like, nope, you ain't leaving. Nah, I care about him. I don't want him to die, so we're sticking together. Come on, you say. I'm not losing tonight. Let's try to cut up this way toward Paddington Station. You remember the last time you were there, meeting Marquis on the seat. There's something comforting about the thought. Alex, for his part, seems more determined than ever. We're going to be okay, he says. Whatever the hell's going on. Of course we are, you agree. Let's go. I'll explain to you what's happening on the way. You sit off once more. You lead Alex through the streets. You're not sure if it's safe enough to hail a cab, given you were once sort of murdered by a taxi driver, and you have no idea how quickly your pursuers are likely to track you down. You're on Portobello Road, on the edge of a gentrified rim of Notting Hill and its bookstores and record shops. Not that any of them are particularly helpful at this time of night. It's late, and the streets are far less busy than before. The only person around seems to be a police officer standing next to her car and slowly drinking a hot cup of coffee. She glances up as she looks at you, beginning to offer a friendly nod, but then you see the realization of who you are appear in her eyes. This is why Marcus suggested you fake your death, and why you were urged to do it carefully, slowly, as you watch as she pulls up her mic, ready to call for help, ready to tell the world just where you are. Hey Ash, check out those totally cute boots. You feel a tug at your side as Alex wraps his body around yours, giggling like a loved-up teen. You follow where your companion points, and suddenly you realize what the play is. Oh my god. You give a little flap. Aren't they totes adorbs? Next paycheck day will be mine. Alex begins to pull on your hand, dragging you along the street, and you follow, nearly bumping into the police officer as you pass. She puts her hand away from the radio, though. It seems your act was able to remove all suspicion. Good work, you mutter to Alex as you turn down the passage and get off the main street. 5 minutes later, you find yourself slouching against the wall of an alleyway when Alex laughs bitterly. You know, I had this wonderful quiet night in terrible movie on TV, comfy chair, a little wine, and then along you come. Next thing you know, I'm facing off against the armies of the undead. You have to admit, it's been a wild journey. I just met you. There are no feelings. Tell Alex about the reality of the world. Do we comfort him? It'll be okay. Well, look on the bright side. At least it's not another art gallery function. Ha! Alex laughed. There's that. I'll admit, hanging around with you isn't boring. You were the most interesting person to step out on that balcony, or any balcony that I met in months. You sense a little tension as ease. We're going to be okay, Alex says, nodding as if a bob of the head had the power to make it so. Indeed you are, a voice adds. You spin on your heels. In front of you, appearing in the blink of an eye, a hideous creature, a hunched figure, face shrouded in some kind of leather mask, hair wild and unkempt. He's dressed in a full-length trench coat, far too big for his frame. He watches a pair of talon hands and fingerless gloves reach out from its sleeves. You can't hear a heartbeat. This creature is undead too. Alex doesn't hide behind you, instead steals for a fight. The figure watches with amusement. My name is Nemo, darlings, he says with a laughing cackle. Perhaps you heard of me. Well, yeah, just to confirm, why would I tell him I've heard his name before? I've been like, what do you want? When I just said it before even the thing came up. But, what do you want? You ask slowly. Nemo's smile appears before you even finish the question, and his talons turn up to the skies. Oh, to help youngling. Nothing more, nothing less. Old Nemo knows London like the back of his hand, knows ways and places no others do. Now it appeared the newly minted vampire Miss Rose, with such a prestigious creator, can't tell you who, and the delightful descendant of the great infamous Jack Hayward, need my help, and I'm here to provide. He gives a little bow. You're being hunted. Bill Boston, Saffron's little pet, has already got your scent. And great. You're being hunted now. I can smell it too. Wafting all over London. Could track you down anywhere in the city, but fortunately I got to you first. I know a place where you'll be safe for the night, and the day besides, if you'll accept my hospitality. Well, what's in it for you, though? He slowly walks across the alley and begins probing at a brick wall. In a moment of almost surreal magic, he watches the wall begin to shift, turning into a shimmering mirage and then a door. I have hundreds of these all around London, Nemo says. Part of my curse, really. Come, please. If you don't, I imagine you'll be dead within 5 minutes, and I can tell you what's really going on. Your only option is to follow. Nemo is a strange guy, half overzealous tour guide, half shy, almost feral creature. His doorway appears to be an old exit from the London Underground, and as you descend, you can soon hear the trains of the tube rattling away in the distance. There are more forgotten stations in the underground than petals in a rose bush, Nemo says. I live down here, and I can get just about anywhere I want to and hear all I need from my friends. He points into the darkness, and you see a pack of rats scurrying along the tracks. Alex stays close to you as you continue your journey through ill-lit tunnels, sometimes drifting to look at the signs as they change from modern typesets to older styles. The brickwork soon gets older, the smell of mold greater, the taste of Dickinson rot richer in the air. Finally you emerge at an old London Underground platform, its light shining so bright that Alex has to shield his eyes. Home sweet home, duckies, Nemo says, helping you onto the platform. Toilet down there for the mortal. There's blankets and bags around here. They've been here since the Second World War. But don't worry, they're clean. I'm sorry, I don't have any food, but it's not like I need it. That's fine, Alex says. You suspect Alex is too tired, crashing at the adrenaline and the stress of the night's adventure to care. This lull, this quiet in the storm, is the moment if you wish to learn more about Alex. Alternatively, you can go find Nemo. But I really need to figure out what, because it'll be nice to actually just chat with Alex for just a tiny bit. I want to find Nemo. Nemo is an enigma, and you're eager to find and speak to your mysterious host. You leave Alex to slide down the wall and find a place to rest, while you head off to find Nemo. He's not hard to discover. His hideout is only round the corner, among a beaten, broken set of couches, around a small table made from a large cable reel turned on its side. Sit, Nemo says, waving you down to one of the couches. You must have questions. Now, why are you down here? Not important. Bill Boston, yeah. Why are you helping me? I'm not one of the good guys, Nemo says. I'm a monster. A few decades ago, I was Fergus's enforcer, and Bill Boston was threatening the city, trying to create his own kingdom where mortals knew all about vampires. I was dispatched with another vampire to stop him. It went badly. Old Boston was chased off, and his entire cult was wiped out. But I made the mistake of losing control of the thirst. I woke up the next night covered in gore, having rampaged my way through 10 apartments, murdering men, women, children for fun. Nemo shifts uncomfortably. Even now, I still want to do it, so I stay down here. But I know the danger that unchecked thirst creates, a danger that could consume the entire world. I know that Boston is such a creature, and more importantly, I know his mistress has even greater designs. You study Nemo. Behind the mask, you can see, if only for a moment, a flicker in his eyes that tells of a vampire haunted by the past. And in case you're wondering, Nemo says, the other vampire with me was your friend Marky. Ha. It took a Victorian street kid to pull me back. So you could say I'm helping you because I owed him. That and all I know about that ring you're carrying. Nemo scratches the ugly worn mask over his face. Would you care for a story? Might as well get all the info that we can get. Ooh, this long. Well, Nemo settles into the couch. Are we sitting comfortably? And then I'll begin. Did you ever ask yourself about where vampires came from? The origins of this curse? I did once. And I traced it not to the Bible or the time of Jesus or something so grand. I traced it to a single figure. Bohemond of Cantania. He was a crusader, and I mean the first crusade. And he had sworn on the holy relics that helped the Byzantine Emperor Alexis regain his lands, and to Pope Urban II, he would retake Jerusalem for Christianity. Bohemond was a creature of will, though a man driven for his own glory. He wanted power, and power he would gain. He broke both of his vows, instead taking the city along the way, carving out an empire of his own and abandoning the Crusaders. Perhaps vampirism is God's curse, or disease he found in the East. Regardless, it was then he became a creature of the darkness. Nemo reaches down to his feet and picks up a rat. He offers it to you first before sinking his teeth into its neck as a mid-tail snack. Apologies, I was getting peckish. Bohemond didn't just become a vampire. In the Holy Land, one can find all kinds of powerful objects, and he did just that. The reliquary of souls, an item, a little trinket, so potent, it was said to be able to cure any affliction, even vampirism. But Bohemond didn't use it for that. He twisted its nature, using it to create a permanent night through which he could rule and hunt. In 1197, he cloaked the entire Kosovo Valley in Romania under a permanent shroud of night, a land of vampires, of course, Romania. Nemo shrugs. I don't know how, but Bohemond was defeated, and the reliquary broken into 3 pieces. I imagine its new owners couldn't destroy it, so they decided to keep it separate. One piece was hidden in London, one was made into a cross, and another a ring. So we gotta find that third item. Then through a twist of fate, the ring returned to London, stolen by a pirate. It didn't matter though, as the cross was safe in New York. Then Saffron learned of the tale I'm telling you now. She decided to arrange for the cross to visit a London museum and prepared to take it. She could have taken the ring at any time too, but being a capricious and playful minx, decided to make you get it for her. Her idea of fun. Given you were the Curry who died when the cross was stolen. Fortunately for the world, it backfired, and you still haven't. A vampire decides to wrap up the tale briskly. And there you have it. Saffron de Lazille wants to unite 3 items and plunge the UK into a new age of permanent vampire darkness, for which he can rule as its new queen. She recruited Boston to help her, as he owed her a favor, and is currently, I imagine, preparing to murder Fergus. The only thing stopping her plans is the fact that you have the ring. It's a grim assessment of your reality. So, what do I do now, you ask? Nemo smiles. At least he contorts his mask in a way that seems to indicate he's smiling. It's hard to be sure. Well, your friends seem to be sleeping steadily. I would suggest you do the same. You'll be safe here. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can't contact Marky and let them know where you are. Thanks, Nemo. You reply, rising up and heading off to the tunnel once more. You have other questions. They might be all you have, but right now you're too exhausted to think clearly. Oh, one more thing, Nemo says. One itty big thing. Ooh, I sound like Columbo. I've always wanted to say that. I don't think the rats around here would get the reference. Were you like Bruno? We don't talk about Bruno, no. Well, with you and these rats. That's basically what you are. You and Bruno with all these rats. The only one who really appreciates me is Brother Spiky. New person. Okay, Brother Spiky. Nemo walks over. I can't remember when I actually go there. And scroll up a little bit. Nemo walks over to a corner and fishes out a tired-looking hedgehog, a spot of alopecia having turned a critter's head into a bald circle that resembles a monk's pate. This is Brother Spiky, Nemo says, petting the spine softly. He requires daily oiling and massages. He's a good little hedgehog cleric. It may nocturnal makes an excellent companion for the vampire. Down here, the loneliness can be acute. Although up there on the surface, it's hardly better for one of our kind. He watches Nemo tickles the hedgehog under the chin before the vampire points toward the platform. Speaking of which, what exactly are your intentions with the mortal? I only ask because, well, I'm a nose parker. I'm starved of the gossip down here. Well, I can imagine. All you got is Brother Spiky with you. What is my intentions? I want to be friends, short-term fun, see where things take me. Never mind that. I want to pet the hedgehog. I'll just see where it takes me. And because I don't really know much about him, so yeah. The buds of potential romance, Nemo says. As an aside to his hedgehog, perhaps it'll work out, perhaps it won't. Perhaps you'll write your name in the stars. The vampire lifts Brother Spiky to his mask and gives an over-elaborate series of smooches. Let's leave the two lovebirds alone to get some rest. You smile and leave Nemo to his thoughts. Instead, you head to the platform and find a spot next to Alex and slide up against the wall. A soft groan suggests you disturb his sleep, and Alex's eyes flutter to look at you. What should we do? I give Alex some encouragement. Well, not yet why I didn't just announce that I was a vampire the first time we met. Alex's eyes flicker to you. You know, he says, I really wish I just sold Miss Delizille that ring. You both laugh. You need to, otherwise you cry. Well, if it's any consolation, I'm the one with the target on my back now. You know, Alex sighs before shaking his head vigorously. It's not much consolation at all, actually, but hey, at least I get to see an old tube station. You always hear stories about these places. Guess I wasn't expecting to meet the Phantom at the underground down here. I could have asked if Nemo has an organ to play. Oh, dude. There's a moment's pause, an awkward silence. Now eventually you decide to feel. You did well. You're alive for one thing, and now you're with friends. Make sure you get through this. Alex smiles. I know I should probably get some sleep. I don't think I've ever felt this shattered. You nod, and before you can reply, find your own eyes drifting close. You sleep in safety. Shake a leg. You blink open. The gloom of the abandoned subway station, fatigued and neglected, fills your senses. You look up at your visitor. A familiar, youthful face grins back at you. Marky. All right, chum? Heard you had a bit of a night. Your mentor offers a hand to pull you up, wincing a little, but their concern is clearly focused on you. Why are you wincing? Nemo's looking after Alex. I was off scouting for you, and after I heard what happened down Holland Parkway, figured you'd try to run to a friend's house. Nemo sent the message, telling me where to find him, that you and the rich kid were safe. Weren't expecting you to head down here, and that's the things in subway. Best avoid them. If you don't want to find something that goes bump in the night, you get to your feet, brushing off the dirt, and grind still sweeps through the tunnels. What time is it, you ask? Almost done. Stuff's gone down. I've got to place you, and I can say, though, best to leave Nemo to himself. He's doing you solid, but he's got demons to fight. Us being here makes it hard for him. Don't worry, the rich kid's fine. Nemo will find somewhere for him to hide for a few days until all this boils over. There's an unusually serious look on Marky's face. Things are bad, Liv. Really bad. It's half an hour later after a looping, twisting drive through London Street that sees your cab loop back on itself several times in a meandering, deliberately confusing route that you arrive at your destination. It's not much, a shabby beaten warehouse near Canada Water. There isn't really anywhere comfortable to sleep inside, but the concrete walls of the office space within provide ready protection against the sun. Not exactly home, but it'll keep us out of harm's way, Marky says. No one's gonna be looking south of the river. It just ain't done. And it'll only be for the night. It's time to fill Marky in on what's been happening. You realize, Saffron, you say, I know, Marky says, trying to overthrow the court. Got her mind set on an artifact called a Reliquary of Souls. While you were off, I was doing a little digging about exactly what she was cooking up. 3 parts to it. Across what you lost, some items here in London, and that ring she was sent up to find. That's our only trump card, as it goes. As long as you got that, you might still win this bleeding war. You pause. What war? Oh, it ain't official yet, but there's war bubbling away, Marky says. Remember I told you to take care of something for Fergus? It was trying to show up support at court. Saffron's made a move, challenged him for his position. Half of the court of London is with Saffron. Half of them are with Fergus. They call it Witten for tomorrow night. A Witten, if you don't know, is kind of like a meeting, right? Every vampire in London is supposed to be there, on neutral ground, to decide who rules the city. You take a moment to think about how you feel about everything you learn. So we definitely gotta be there at this Witten. No, I really don't think we should. But you really think we should side with Saffron? No. Worry about the fate of London. Feel my journey as a vampire is only beginning. The night is forever young. Embrace me. The voice of the thirst rings out into your mind, and you stiffen at its words. It's true. You no longer wish to be human. From now on, the night will be yours. Even so, you can see the impact the chaos you just survived has had on your mentor. Do you think it could turn violent? Do you think it could turn violent? You ask. Marky offers a rueful smile. Little late for that. Saffron thought she'd take out a few of her loose ends tonight, it seems. She didn't just go after you. What does that mean? Marky winces, pulling back the jacket to reveal a vicious gaping wound. It means she came for me, ambushed me. 2 of a faction. I got 'em. I ain't that easy to bump off, but, well, they did a right number on me, too. I ain't exactly gonna leap about and give you a hug at the Modo. You look with the horror at the damage inflicted on your lover. Marky's face had always been ashen, but the beautiful soul in front of you was a little more pallid than usual. What do we want? We want to hold Marky tight. There ain't no time. Why would we say that? We're like, this is not time to bleed. I'm like, really? Like, girl, you just got attacked. But they got attacked. Offer sympathies. We'll keep it on that. I want to hold Marky tight and treat the wounds. Oh my god, he managed to say, heading over to Marky and offering the vampire youthful frame a hug. It's accepted without complaint, even if there's a little moan as the embrace eases off and Marky settles a little. 'Tis but a scratch, Marky offers with a weird smile. Look, it ain't fatal, not for a vampire. I'll need to heal up tonight, probably all tomorrow too. 2 nights and I'll be right as rain. I've seen people grow entire limbs back in that time. You look around the warehouse and find a small first aid kit. Well, at least let me make you comfortable. That, Marky confesses, would be good. But you gotta realize, I'm not the priority here, Lilith. One of us has got to go to Witten. Make sure everyone knows what's occurring. If we don't, well, you don't need Marky to finish. You already know the next words. If Saffron wins the Witten or gets a ring from you, London is doomed. You can hear Chase in the background. You can't hear, but I can. Yes, Chase. What you want? What you want about this time? I'm in here. Anyway, we're gonna leave off on this chapter right here. And we'll start on 6 tomorrow.